Hello, true duelists. My name is Craig Fee, and as always, welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. In competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! This week, there was the first set of regionals under our new ban list, and you literally will believe it, Shizu's still the deck to beat. Yes, that's been true like for a month now, and I keep reporting it, so I only tell the truth, clearly. But there were some interesting changes in the topping tables, one might say. That is to say that there were a number of decks larger than 3 that topped over the course of these events. This graph here, with data provided from Twitter user Sebto360, shows that while tiers are still the top dog definitively, Sprite is not that far behind them. And even previous format staples, such as Branded and Sword Soul, have showed back up, alongside the new Draco Slayer cards, and some truly absurd other decks. Dragon Maid, Mech Knight, Naturia, and Mutant all topped as well, with only one top for the birds. But that makes sense because I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that birds aren't real. You can't play them. Stop pretending you can. Seriously though, this is a bit of a surprise for the old duck. Yep, that's what I wrote apparently, as tiers weren't meaningfully hit on our last ban list. And I doubt the Dragon Maid player that topped was running 3 Macro Cosmos. Or if they were, I don't know what the fuck their deck was doing. With these tops and the YCS San Jose tops from last week as well, there may be a sign that players are beginning to learn how to play around and build for the matchup in a more meaningful way. Or these have simply just been smaller events with more room for good players with worse decks, let's say, to top going against worse players using the good decks, if you can follow that sentence. I can't say for sure, but one thing I do know is that this coming weekend will be the North American Remote Duel YCS, the first YCS under the new ban list, and one that will be most certainly filled to the brim in regards to the player count. And those results are going to be the most interesting to me to see just how prepared people are for the tier matchup and whether or not these are just flukes or, you know, Shizu is the deck to beat still. Also for Remote Duel YCS news, Konami has announced a Remote Duel Latin America to take place on the weekend of January 21st and 22nd for our Latin American dueling friends. And since this will require a Latin American address to enter, I assume, North American players can't colonize this one. Is that a kosher joke? I don't think so. I mean no disrespect. I simply mean it's a chance for Latin American players to actually top at their events without a swarm of, you know, North American players coming in and just stealing their chance for a top. It's good to see. I like it. I don't know. Moving on. Also this week, we've had the announcement for the first of the European Master Duel Challenger Cup, with Farfa himself set to host for the first of the events. This first one will be taking place on the 17th of this coming month, and by this coming month, I mean this month, what is reading, so that's a week from tomorrow, if you are watching this on the day of upload. Which you should, because it's the update. Get updated, kid, stay in the know. Learn about how Yugi streamer Farfa will be streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! This is news. This is real. This fucker is certified. In card news, there's been some reported leaks for which cards exactly are getting the ultimate upgrade, literally in the ultimate rare slots for OTS Pack 21. Going off of these photos seen here, taken by what I assume was a time traveler from 2005 using a Motorola Razr flip phone camera. What the fuck? Why are all leaks this blurry? You can literally count all 12 pixels that comprise this photo here. Seriously, dude. Still, using the power of basic eyesight, assuming that these leaks are real, the 3 cards are Kashitra Unicorn, Tearlament Rhino Heart, and Sprite Elf. This does track with Konami's confirmed tease that the ultimate rares in the set will be for these 3 archetypes specifically, so it's not unreasonable to believe it. And that's all I have to say on this. This might be fake, but throw up that access code pic because it could also be real. It's like the 5th time I've said that. I don't care if it's in the script, I'm dropping it moving forward. In Master Duel news, a new solo story and some other bonus nonsense came out. That's right, for free, Konami will let you play a Starry Night deck in that story mode so that you too can experience firsthand just how underwhelming this gorgeous dragon is. Or if you want to play it in a format where it isn't terrible, I recommend trying it up against a casual 2012 format deck, because in my experience, with a decent hand, it does not lose instantly to a hero deck from that format. Copium. In community news, YouTube streamer and certified gamer Ludwig himself held a small Master Duel tournament of some exclusively bigger named streamers. That's right, including the likes of Charlie himself and some other people I'm not really all that aware of, but have some names like Lily, Pichu, and Sykkuno, all using pre-constructed and lower-powered decks. The tournament was a fun watch and a casual blast. Which is not at all a negative thing, don't get me wrong. It's just funny to see people in the chat calling Red Eyes overpowered, or complaining about Honest Neos as an absurdly broken card. I get it. If you aren't watching these duels as someone who plays Yu-Gi-Oh!, if you're coming into this without context, yeah, a new player can think that. Having played this game for 10 years though? Sheesh. Red Eyes has always been terrible, and it pains me to say it, because it's the coolest looking one of the original trio. This is also hilarious that they gave everyone very very tame DM-friendly decks for the most part, and then Ludwig was playing Tri-Zoo, but with no copies of Zeus or Trident. Just unironically handed him no win con Tri-Brigade Zodiac, which is a comedy in and of itself, but especially when one player has a much more complex, or at the very least not immediately clear how to play and win condition, you know, building, all that jazz. It's just really funny to see someone struggling against a deck with Elemental Hero Burstinatrix playing Tri-Brigade Zodiac. Apparently he wanted a furry deck, but Fur Hire wasn't the go-to in that case. You could just cut Falgo and then only play one dragon dude, Raphael probably, love Ninja Turtles. Whatever, I don't know. I wasn't the deck builder for hire for this event. Ha! Comedy. Still, overall I enjoyed it. And I think him bringing attention to the game and how fun it can be is nothing short of fantastic in the grand scheme. But it has gone on to do two things, really. One is that it brought a number of more casual-oriented Yu-Gi-Oh! Players who do not care for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! In the slightest, or whatever they deem to be competitive Yu-Gi-Oh!, and has reignited the discussion of Yu-Gi-Oh!'s blatant and apparent lack of a proper casual format. Which I think is neat, and I might just make a video about that by itself, because that's a complex topic and I'm not fitting it into this update. I'm not doing it. But I bring it up to say that there have been a rise of discussions on Twitter broadly, and Paul of Team APS posted a great video discussing it, which I bring up specifically just so that I can show that picture of him there, because that's cool as shit, man. I'll gladly put that on screen. Overall, though, I have about this to say. I hope that this can be the start of the community trying to lab something more casually friendly that we can force into relevance with or without Konami's help. That's a big task in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's borderline impossible, I might have to admit, but I'd like to see us try at least. It would be much more welcoming in the game's broad scene if we could have something comparable to the more casual formats Magic the Gathering has or something like that. I just think it would be good. And, you know, more importantly, don't be a fucking dick. That's the other thing I have to say. Yeah, some casual elitists are gonna be fucking annoying, and so are the competitive elitists. It's almost like being a condescending fuck about a card game on the internet is an undesirable trait. Look inward, people, okay? Try that. I'm great, you're all the ones at fault. That's just basic facts. I've said it on screen. How could I possibly be wrong? The game can be fun at multiple levels, and welcoming in more people can help the game to grow and get Konami catering to us in more ways, which would just be great overall. So take the yugioh strats, tried and true saying to heart, be a dude, not a dick. And you know what? Positivity run, let's do it. I am not fucking scared. Pretty big this week was a video from Cimo that I won't actually joke about since it's pretty serious and I'd feel disrespectful doing that, so I'm gonna do what no Yu-Gi-Oh player has ever done and try to just be a decent human being about this. Okay, seriously, he revealed in a video this past week that he has ulcerative colitis, which is as he explained in the video, his inner lining of his intestines are inflamed, which causes him to have to use the toilet frequently, which is the polite way of saying that he is constantly evacuating his bowels to an uncomfortable degree. He has to shit often, far more often than people do, put simply. He released a video going over how it's affected him personally, and even in regard to his channel or attending and meeting fans at YCSs, and just the sorts of struggles it's caused him having to deal with the unfortunate affliction that he has. And he came to light with it, he confronted it, he admitted that it's something that's affected him, and he's decided to use his platform to try and raise money and help people who are afflicted with it also, stating that he would love to see no one else have to deal with it. If he can raise the money and help eliminate this disease and find a cure, if such a thing can be said, that it would be fantastic for him, which is a beautifully admirable trait and just a solidly good move by him. So all December, he's running a charity videothon where as enough money is raised, he'll release special videos to reward the donators. This is awesome. It's great on his part, and you can help donate to raise money. All proceeds will be going to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, and props to Cimo for coming to light with this and, you know, using his platform to try and help it. It's not something that's easy to do, I'd imagine. It's probably a certain level of discomfort to have to confront and admit to it, if that's the way you want to say it. But he's, again, using his platform to do good. So donate to that one if you can, and go Team Cimo. And we ain't done yet, because DistantCoder has also been running a charity stream in December, wherein he's been playing retro games, and all donations will be going to Gamers Outreach, a charity foundation used to get games into hospitals so that kids who are in the hospital and dealing with the mundane banality of being sick in a hospital can at least have some video games to help pass the time. It's another great charity, and it's another great move by a content creator in our community, so I'm choosing to highlight it. I apologize for not having brought light to it previously. I could have mentioned this last week, I just didn't, and moving forward I might try to stay on top of this better so that we can do good, and I can at least say I'm trying in some modicum. So, moving forward, you can donate to this or both of the organizations that Cimo and Coder are running for. Coder's is unfortunately wrapping up on the 12th, so there's only going to be 3 days or so by the time this video is out, but still, a chance to do good in the community for the broader society at large. What's not to love? Shoutouts to Coder and Cimo for both of the charities that they're running, and if you can, go ahead and donate. Oh, you think we're done? Nah, son, one more easy thing you can do. YugiTuber Yasin656 is a channel that had grown itself to a strong 40,000 subscribers, and in a freak accident, his Google account got hacked, and so he lost his channel. He made a backup channel that you can subscribe to just as the courtesy backup, but thankfully I can report that he got his channel back, and you can go throw him some love to, you know, recover from a stressful week. I can't imagine getting your Google account hacked when you've got a 40K channel. That's a big accomplishment. So you can go send some love his way too. Oh, you think we're done? We are actually. That's it for today's update. Go ahead, spread some love and positivity and do some good in the world if you can. And we'll be back to your regularly scheduled negativity next week, where we complain about Yu-Gi-Oh card event topping metagame shenanigans. As always, I've been your host, Craig Fee. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe to yugioh Strats for next week's update to impress your smoking Italian wife, and so that you too can be a true duelist. Oh, and donate to charity.